Hello, my name is Victor Ramos, and today I will be teaching you about the transformation of functions. Now, what does that mean? Now, the transformations of functions is typically we have a parent function like f of x. Now, the transformation of functions is what happens when you turn it into a different function, thus switching the graph around. Let me give you a simple example of this. Let's just say that g of x, because you're graphing, g of x equals x squared. This is known as a parabola. Now what it does is that if the vertex is at 0, 0, which is typically the point of the parabola, it then curves into this shape. Now for this example today, we'll only be working within the range of 5 within the x-axis and the y-axis. So it will never go past 5, and it will never go less than -5 on both sides of the axis. Okay, so that's one example of the transformation of functions and all the fun stuff we can do. Okay, so let me give you an example of what a transformation function would look like. It would simply be g of x equals f of x. From the original, all three functions we're trying to graph, x minus h squared plus k. Now this is we're trying a transformation from this regular function. Now typically the h will typically mean horizontal, which means it can only move from left to right, and the k typically means vertical, which means it will only go up and down. Now let's input some numbers here so that then we can see what it does to the transformation of functions. I see why this is 10 minutes due to all the erasing. Apologies, brand new whiteboard available at Walmart. Okay, let me see, I have the function right here. Okay, so like with the previous example of f of x equals x squared, we're going to transform it into g of x equals x minus 3 squared plus 2. For your first problem, let's look at the quadratic parent function, f of x equals x squared. Let's look inside the parentheses of x minus 3 for the transformation. According to Lawson, horizontal shifts are counterintuitive. I apologize, I had to look at my notes because counterintuitive is a big word for me, all right? Because it is -3, we're going to shift it horizontally, because remember from the previous equation, that I should have left up. I apologize once again. Minus h plus k. This will go horizontal. So that means that we'll move the center of the vertex 0, 0 3 ways to the left. And the 2 right here, similar to this one, which means we move it 2 units upward. So now the new vertex, which is the point of the parabola, is now -3 and 2. So we will put the vertex shifted over here, and now we have a brand new parabola in a completely different area. Now, let me show you another equation involving the square root. Cut, baby. Hello, and I apologize, I had to take a little break. My girlfriend had told me that this is a parabola, and I apologize about the previous interruption. She goes to law school, and I am currently getting my associates. Women are much more smarter than men. Okay, so right now we're going to do the square root of the function. So in this case, we still follow the same procedure, but in this case, it's a square root. It's the same exact thing where h of x is equal to f of x minus the square root of x minus h plus k. This is the horizontal shift once again, which goes from left to right, and the k is the vertical, which goes up and down, up and down. So I give the equation h of x equals the negative square root of x minus 4. Wait a minute, where's the k? Good question. So, because of the fact that there is no k, what does that mean? That means that there is no vertical movement or shift in this equation. The same thing would happen. It's as if the equation was h of x equals the negative square root of simply x, and then there would be a negative 4 past the x. That means outside of the equation is the horizontal shift because it is outside of the f of x equation. So, back to the original equation. H of x equals negative x minus 4. Remember that negative. We're going to use that later. So, what does that mean? You already know. If it's within it, it's the h. We go horizontal, negative 4. And like I said, it only goes to negative 5, so we're going to move one unit away from the 5 towards the negative 4. And here is our vertex, also due to the fact that there is no vertical shift within this graph. Now, remember this negative part? Here we are again. What does this mean? Typically, within a square root function, it would go upward if it wasn't a negative. That way. And then listen to into infinity and beyond, like Buzz Lightyear. But because of the fact that it is negative, we have to flip or reflect, however you want to name it. There's multiple terms for it. The function. So instead of going upward, we instead go downward towards the third quadrant. And so this is pretty much the transformation of functions, is where you're able to take an original parent function and shift it around using this certain equation, which has horizontal and vertical shifts. My name is Victor Ramos. Thank you and have a wonderful day.